Daniel, hello, by the way.
Hello.
Is it hard for you to do this? Because you like talking to us normally?
I like talking to you, and I still think it doesn't have a difference on the press conference, because we're still going to do the 10 minutes, which I feel like is pretty usual. It's more on the TV broadcasters and stuff like this, so I don't think it's going to affect any of us in this room.
That's good. I mean, Arena did a much shorter press conference, so she chose to do that.
No, I think we're going to be fine, but let's see. I mean, but it should be fine. I think we're all going to have a chance to talk.
Just tell us your reasons for taking part in the action and how close you are to the discussions and what impact do you think they're having?
I think in a way as close as every player is, because it's, probably one of not many times where we are united through a person who is involved in all of this, Larry. And I think it's great because as a player, it's a very individual sport. So to be united on the important topic that it is for all of us, it's not easy all the time, but we all think that we are searching for something here, and I'm happy to be part of the group.
Ian?
Hi Daniel. You've had a good season so far, a couple of titles, some big wins and some close matches against the likes of Carlos and Yannick as well. But you've also had some matches against lower ranked players where it's been completely the opposite story. Do you find that's a changing in the game where we're seeing a lot more players 50, 100 plus being very close to that level? What's your feeling there?
I do believe that, yes, if we take like the top 100 players, I do believe that the level is a bit higher than before. I'm not going to say so much higher, but a bit more, it's not even higher, a bit more close. If we, of course, not talk about Yannick, Sasha, actually, who's making most of the tournament semis and stuff like this. Even on practice, like, here in Wimbledon, I've been practicing great, but so many players, it doesn't matter their ranking, they just play great tennis, can do great drop shots, great volleys and stuff like this. So I do think that in general, the level is a bit more close, and I have to do my best to try to be higher than this average level, let's say.
James?
Oh, I was again on the protests and stuff. Obviously, Wimbledon made a quite a drastic increase in 20%, and I just figured, we all know the number you're kind of going for, but like that was a big thing, and also like people are paying more and more for tickets every year. I just wondered how you guys see what the public perception of it might be when, from the outside looking in, Wimbledon are trying to reach out and make that, yet it's still not enough.
Yeah, I think first of all, I don't know what other players say, but I think in general, every player is happy that maybe part of, because what we did in Roland Garros helped us to push Wimbledon a little bit on the numbers. But again, what we get, we also try to see the full information that we're getting. We're not accountant guys, so we can just process the information that we're getting from either Wimbledon or Larry, who is representing us. And from what we are seeing, for example, that the percentage of the revenue is lower than it was 10 years ago. So, of course, Wimbledon is getting more money as a tournament, but apparently it's a bit lower, not far, but than it was 10 years ago. So, meaning we're kind of getting even less money, at least that's the info we're getting. And so that's why we're pushing for just having something more fair that we think is fair. And that's, I think it's a fair discussion to have. I don't think, honestly, anyone is, angry. It's just a discussion we're having with Wimbledon. Wimbledon is having with us. And again, me personally, I'm happy that Wimbledon stepped up a bit, but we think it should be a bit more.
You mentioned,
and not just a bit more, but in terms of the percentages and stuff like this. So it's not just we want a bit more. It's in terms of percentages.
Just in terms of, because you mentioned him a few times, I'm curious how well you know Larry and what your relationship's like, and what you make of him as a leader in this whole thing.
He's not my best friend, so I don't know him too much, but a bit, and he seems like a great representative for the players, because again, since the moment he started representing us and was actually presented to us, we all think he's a strong voice, and that's why we all support him. That's also part of why we have now like a big group of players who seem to go in the same direction.
Charlie.
No, more tennisy one. You on grass, obviously, a big part of playing is the slipping, the falling, that sort of thing. How do you find that element of it? Have you kind of trained yourself to get better and do more of that kind of thing on grass?
Well, first of all, I think if we talk about, when I say big injuries, but let's say injuries maybe that can take you out for a longer time, I think grass is probably the surface where you get them more, because as you say, you can get unlucky in a way, like you go for the drop shot and we all fight our best, and then exactly at this point it was a bit slippery, your knee overextends or something. I did have this couple of times, never had anything too bad, but I feel that grass is a bit dangerous. So the only way is just try controlling it. Of course, working a lot on the tennis court, practice-wise, with the physical coach to try to adapt the movement and have, let's say, reduce the chance of injury, and also increase the chance of just being fast and strong on grass.
How do you do that? How do you sort of reduce the chance?
A lot of different drills, a lot of course, also work in the gym on the stability and stuff like this, of the knee, of the joints, everything. So it's actually a better question to my physical coach, to be honest, but a lot of small work that can help your body just be more ready for, as you say, the adaptation that you need to have on grass.
Hey, Daniel, I was just wondering how you experienced what happened at the French Open, like, because when you went out, Sinner was still in, Djokovic was still in, like, the tournament changed quite a lot. I was wondering whether you sort of reflected on that and thought, wow, like, I would have had a really, really good shot at this.
I think it was really interesting because, of course, Sinner and Novak went out early. So if they would go out in the quarters, it would be a bit even in a different story, because this was like very early. We knew that probably we're going to have a new Grand Slam champion and stuff like this. Some walkovers, some withdrawals. I found it pretty interesting. Again, of course, that's how always sport is. There are big favorites, which is Yannick, of course, and Carlos all the time. But Carlos has been out for a couple of some time. So whichever tournament is there, Yannick is like the biggest favorite. But anything can happen, as we saw in Roland Garros. And then once the biggest favorite is out, then it's up for everyone else to try to get it. Again, for me, of course, I was disappointed to lose in Roland Garros, but it was never, the tournament where I played my best tennis. So I was just following the results, watched probably the final a bit. I mean, a big part of the final. And that's how usually when I'm not in the tournament, I don't watch it. I follow the results and then watch the final.
Ben.
I just want to ask about your first round, because you have a big one against Cilic. What are your thoughts on playing him first? And does it at all help you having a good player first? Because you've had trouble in first rounds at slams lately a lot, and I don't know if this is going to get you more locked in faster than you
I hope.
else.
No, I think it's a little bit what I said is that the level in general is pretty close, and honestly, everyone plays good, and I don't think you get a. Oh, actually, on grass, maybe a bit more. You can get a first round where, like, maybe he doesn't like grass, but anyway, it's not Marin. We played each other in Hertogenbosch actually a couple of weeks ago. Look, Marin is a very dangerous player, super strong on grass. Of course, he's less consistent than before, but on one match he can play outrageous. And I remember we played here in Wimbledon on court 1. And he was 2 sets to love up, and I managed to win. So good memories, but just actually happy to play Marin. Looking forward. Of course, I know that I need to play my best. So maybe if it helps me get locked in, perfect. I'm happy.
Christian.
Hi, Daniel. In terms of the player protests, like, how much is health and well-being a factor for you versus just money? I mean, there's a lot of players that are injured at the moment.
I think it's all together, because part of what I don't even like to call it a protest, but what we are discussing with Wimbledon is, of course, ATP has some programs like player pension and some other things that player welfare in general. Like, it's a big discussion, because I think the calendar should be there. It's a big discussion, but at least I feel like they're trying, whereas Grand Slams, and it was long story. Never really invested in it, and we're like, why not? Let's try to work together and invest in this as well. Different things that can help player welfare. So this is part of the discussions as well. But again, the topic is, if we go into details, is very big, and of course, a lot of players injured. And I always said the same. I hope nobody never gets injured. Everyone plays, stays healthy, and shows their best tennis.
Daniel, everybody knows you're a big football fan. How closely do you follow the World Cup? What did you learn so far, and who's going to win it?
Who's going to win it? Well, that's tough. I'm rooting for Germany because I root for Bayern Munich, but I enjoy when I can. I don't watch the matches at 4 in the morning, but I watch the ones usually at 8 or 9. I think, a lot of surprises here and there, but also France, England, Germany, Portugal looking strong, as Argentina, Brazil, as everyone expected. So I didn't learn anything yet, but if France play Germany, it's going to be not even in quarters. That's going to be interesting.
Simon?
Daniel, you hear a lot of tennis players talk about being in the zone as the ideal sort of scenario. And in that moment, you clear your mind. How much work do you do on trying to clear your mind to get in that zone?
It's a tough question, interesting one, because I think it's very important to, it's the best feeling when you're in the zone and, as you say, your mind is clear. And it's very tough because in tennis there are so many parameters, like you miss a return on deuce because there was line on grass and it choked, and you're like, well, how do I focus on the next one? But at the same time, it was an important point. Could I do better? Could my forehand? Anyway, and that's something I work on constantly. That's something I can be much better on, maybe comparing even to other top players. But again, even this year, I was capable of doing it a couple of times, and I hope I can do it this Wimbledon, something I've been working on practice this week, and I feel like I've been doing well. And I just can tell you that it's a very nice feeling when you are in the zone and your mind is clear.